So just wait to see what they pick.
You know, Windwalker Death Knight Holy Paladin actually did really well. Well, because they don't know what comps they're playing,
yeah.
blind pick. But if they did for some reason lose because of the edge here, they're going to be really tanky, except for Cyfox. I feel like he is an exposed target. Obviously, spamming Healing Touch is really good. You're stunned by a rogue. You're not spamming Healing Touch.
Yeah, I don't see him pressing that button very much.
So Wong is playing a very, very group-oriented game. He's not playing Steed of Glory, so he's not going to have that knockback on his Divine Steed. He's actually playing Judgments of the Pure, which is going to heal people when he judges.
I mean, it makes sense. Why would you want to knock people away from your Feral Druid? I think it makes sense for him to be playing.
I think their goal here is just say, all right, we want our Feral Druid to just live. We're going to keep him alive as long as possible with the Protection Paladin, and he's going to do enough damage to shut him down.
Jamili's playing Greater Pyro.
Is he actually playing
He's playing Greater Pyro.
Let's see how many he can actually get off.
Well, we asked for it, so he brought it to the arena. So I'm assuming it's going to be a pretty slow game overall because of the Protection Paladin. They mitigate a lot of damage.
Here it is.
Hoping that he gets some Greater Pyroblast off to get some damage going. There we go. He's getting 1 off, 2 off on him.
Whoa,
He's actually taking a ton of damage here
Is
already.
he just going to die? That was an
There's
insane
a
amount
big
of
shield
burst.
there. He's taking a ton of damage anyway, and there's some more protection. I think he had to use the bubble already there, and it broke it immediately. So Bop going out as well. Bunch of defensive views just because of Greater Pyro. That's awesome.
Yeah, Trill's trying to shut Jamili down, throwing him into that paralyzed leg sweep. CC chain. Now Cyfoxy switching over to Jamili. They're trying to shut down and prevent any Greater Pyros going out as Peekaboo used his Vendetta to commit a lot of pressure. In the meantime, Goreki's team is starting to rot down. They're actually down to about half HP. Here comes another Greater Pyro. He tries to blink in for it, but Sykes just going to line of sight, try and get some dots going onto Peekaboo. Feral Druids are known for spread pressure. They can get bleeds and moonfires onto 3 targets, rot down a team, and the prop paladin's there to make them tankier. Jamili playing this Greater Pyro build. I think it's ultimately smart. That way, if the Feral Druid and the tank run after Goreki, he's going to provide insane counter pressure. Like this Greater Pyro right now could be massive onto Sykes. He's just getting so many of them in a row. They're trying to interrupt them with the paralyzes, and it's really up to Trill to shut down Jamili.
And you know, it's hard to stop the Pyros and keep doing damage because obviously they're trying to stop some of these, right? But I mean, if they keep chasing after Jamili, they're going to stop doing their normal rotation, which I think they're concentrating a little too much on right here. They're like, okay, stop the Greater Pyro. He's playing that spec. Like, in a tournament setting, stuff like this happens where Jaw's not playing this ability, and they're so concentrated on that, they're not actually getting anything done.
I mean, Jamili's down at half HP. Mana seems to be even, so yeah, for now, nothing really too expensive. Trill pushing in, landing a double leg sweep there in the center of the map, porting back to the pillar. Jamili down at half. Still going for those Greater Pyros, getting another one off over onto Sykesy. If he gets 3 of those in a row, I think that he could kill a target with that. Another Greater Pyro going over to Sykesy. Half his HP is gone. Peekaboo trying to take him down with his Vendetta as well, but Wong is shutting Jamili out, sitting on with that prop paladin silence and interrupts as well. Goreki pushing in, looking to try and get something done. I would imagine as the RMD that you're going to have to wait for dampening to kill this tanky comp.
Yeah, and I expect more damage to be going out on Goreki from Sykesy. He's kind of attacking every now and then, but they need to be on him as much as possible, shut him down so that Wong can get some damage.
Oh, what was
super
that?
Low from Jamili,
That was a
though.
Greater Pyro.
Just Jamili was attacking him there with Combustion. Some Greater Pyros going out and doing a ton of damage to him. It forced his bubble. I don't know that if they have the auto bubble, but that is really scary for Wong to get bursted like that in the middle of the arena.
So we talked about Pure of Heart being this amazing counter to Assassination Rogues, but you have to be near the targets, and that is not happening right now. Now Wong is going to go help out Trills, and so now he's going to start benefiting from all those dispels.
And Jamili just tees off on anyone in the open. Sykesy sees it coming, tries to get back to the pillar a little bit closer. Those Greater Pyros are so threatening to this tanky comp. I don't think that Turtastic were exactly expecting this. Jamili just blinking in and lobbing giant fireballs at his opponent. Trill trying to stay out of line of sight. I'd really like to see Trill try and drink. If he can drink and then force Tempo Storm in, they would like to play on the pillar.
But look how concerned they are about it. They're so concerned that Trill has been sapped in the middle of the arena. They have a kidney shot on Wong. They're going to be able to get some Greater Pyros out. There's one connecting.
Boom.
Drops immediately.
Boom.
Another one.
He popped his big cooldown, but it isn't enough. Okay, there's a top from Trill. Very big heal there, but that is so scary for Wong. It's so hard for him to go across the map when Jamili is just casting Greater Pyros over and over, proving that the spec is viable. There's a half cheap on Trill. They're still continuing to do damage to Wong. They finally found their target.
I mean, does Greater Pyro good, or is it good against tanks? It's not something you normally see. Wong's forced to pop his Guardian, try and reduce some incoming damage as he is being focused down by Tempo Storm. Looks like Turtastic are trying to turtle it out, pull back towards the pillar. This is the positioning that Turtastic want, though. They can more readily line of sight. Trill's trying to move in to get a CC chain on Goreki. He's got him stunned in the middle of the map. Nice job job by Trill, setting up some CC, but with that prop hell, you're just not doing enough damage. There's no pressure coming out. Greater Pyro is now being lobbed out by Jamili over onto Wong. Half his HP already gone. Another Greater Pyro coming Wong's way. He's trying to stay out of the line of sight of the next one. Jamili's just doing so much pressure with that spell, forcing Wong to be just on the pillar pinned down.
And it reminds me of Glacial Spike, really. He's just chain casting Greater Pyros, and it does similar damage, so they really have to watch for it. And, you know, it doesn't have any build-up, so he's just going for them over and over until he lands a couple. And, you know, with kidney shots from Peekaboo, it's helping out a lot. He probably has the talent to increase his damage taken by 10% during stuns as well. So it's really helping Jamili. I'm certain that over half his damage this game has just been that one ability.
I think he's only pressed Greater Pyro at this point. He's just falling in love with the spell. He is getting stunned up quite a lot, not really able to put out too much pressure at the moment, but it would be expected that we're going to need dampening to deal with the prop paladin.
Think of how much time they've spent just interrupting that spell. When we saw Peekaboo when he was trying to kill Trills by himself, Wong had to full time stop Jamili from doing damage. And the second you leave him free, he's going to start pyroing. He can shimmer it, he can blink. It's incredible.
Here comes one more Greater Pyro onto Wong. Wong doesn't have his bubble available. Vendetta is ticking. Jamili's looking to finish him off with this combustion. Life Cocoon out from Trill. They shred right through that. And this prop paladin's taking a lot of heat. Is he going to be able to get out of line of sight in time? He's line of sighting Sykes' heals as well. Double Dragon's Breath out from Jamili. Wong should be able to recover here shortly unless Gorecki can follow up this CC chain on Trill. Doesn't look like he can follow up just yet. They're going to clone up Wong, try and deny any healing out from Trill, try and set up some damage here, but with that CC chain lost on Trill, I would imagine that Tempo Storm are going to look to reset.
So now we finally enter dampening, but you know, I haven't seen Tempo Storm take damage in at least 2 minutes now. They haven't been below 95% health, so it's just they're focusing so much on...
Gorecki just drank to full also.
Yeah, they're focusing so much on stopping Jamili. Jamili is actually trolling now. He's backpedaling and conjuring refreshments because he knows these Greater Pyros are shutting them down so hard that they don't even know what to do.
I mean, eventually with dampening ramping up, it's going to get a kill. I don't think they can keep shutting those Greater Pyros down. And Fire Mages are so tanky to physical damage that Jamili's not really a viable kill target for Turtastic. He's eventually going to get those Greater Pyros. Gorecki's trying to move in and get a clone, not able to find it. Peekaboo's actually overextended behind the pillar far from his team. I guess Jamili doesn't care. He's just bouncing around on his mount, now jumping off, lobbing out some fireballs. They're really just trying to bait Turtastic off of the pillar. I would imagine they're looking for a kill on Sykesy or Wong. Trill's going to be a little bit too slippery. Here comes some Greater Pyros up from Jamili. Gets paralyzed and silenced. A bit of an overlap. Ultimately, I don't think it's going to matter too much. We're moving into 11% dampening, so 11% healing reduction overall in the game. Jamili now lobbing out some Greater Pyros towards Wong, and he doesn't have bubble. He pops himself out of the stun, but the Greater Pyro connects. Wong dangerously low. Can they get any CC onto Trill? Vendetta is taking so much pressure out from Peekaboo and Jamili. Stun into the full poly, but Sykesy is just healing up Wong along with himself. It's such a durable team.
Yeah, it's hard to figure out when they're going to die because Sykesy can heal, Wong can heal, he pops wings and heals himself. Even though Trill was CC for the entire duration of that attempt at a kill, that he just is sitting at full now. But they haven't had any pressure on Gorecki the entire game. The only one they can really attack is Peekaboo. Jamili's just blinking away and getting out of line of sight. And then if they try to go for Gorecki, there's just Greater Pyros coming in. So I like their strategy here because they really need to go on Gorecki to get kills, but Jamili's just sitting by him waiting.
Here comes another Greater Pyro, 2 in a row over onto Wong. He does have bubble available, so that will be his emergency to stay alive. And he's got to pop it right away. A lot of damage onto Wong. Jamili just setting up. Anytime Wong's in the open, he's just going to get blown up. Turtastic are forced to stay pinned down, try and focus on Peekaboo. But dampening, ramping up pays off for both teams.
Yeah, I can see Sykesy actually putting out some big DPS here. Pharaohs can pull the highest DPS in Arena, as we said earlier, and it's all AoE. They put up bleeds on their entire team, and Gorecki, even at like 30% damaging, won't be able to keep up with it. So if they can survive a little bit longer, if they can just chill by the pillar, wait for Bubble to come back up, which is a long cooldown, they might be able to take this. And you know, Jamili can't cast Greater Pyro behind the pillar. He has to be in the open, so he has to wait for them to come to him. He can't go behind there. So if they just wait for those cooldowns to come back up, they should be okay for now.
I mean, if I was Turtastic, I would think to myself, one Greater Pyro can't kill us. So it's okay, let him get one Greater Pyro, save our interrupts to interrupt the next one, and stop 2 of them from happening, because that's when you're really in danger. But at this point, Turtastic is just trying to interrupt any Pyros they see, and eventually Jamili can free cast. There's a lot of pressure coming onto Wong, activates that Argent Defender, trying to reduce some incoming pressure at the moment. Trill line of sighting on the pillar, but Jamili blinks in, he gets the sheep. Wong could be in a bit of trouble here. He's trying to line of sight, no bop, no bubble available to get rid of that Vendetta, but Gorecki decides to clone up low HP. Jamili trying to set up a Greater Pyro, gets paralyzed by Trill, sets up a leg sweep. Unfortunately, only landing onto Peekaboo there. Gorecki in a good position in the middle. Might decide to push in here to get some C's they see, and eventually Jamili can free cast. There's a lot of pressure coming onto Wong. Activates that Argent defender, trying to reduce some incoming pressure at the moment. Trill line of sighting on the pillar, but Jamili blinks in. He gets the sheep. Wong could be in a bit of trouble here. He's trying to line of sight. No bop, no bubble available to get rid of that Vendetta. But Gorecki decides to clone up low HP. Jamili trying to set up a greater pyro. Gets paralyzed by Trill. Sets up a leg sweep. Unfortunately, only landing onto Peekaboo there. Gorecki in a good position in the middle. Might decide to push in here to get some CC. I would imagine that they want to wait for that Polymorph DR to start to reset. Dampening now, ramping up to 25% reduction. One pyro onto Wong, but I like that. They just let the one pyro go through, interrupt the next one, because you need more than one to get a kill.
Yeah, and look where they're playing. They're all just sitting by the pillar. Jamili can't really be back here. He knows that. He's blinking back out. He wants to get those greater powers off in the middle of the map, but they're not falling for his bait anymore. Slicey is now, but he knows he hasn't nerfed up. He's going to run back to the pillar and be absolutely fine after this. Meanwhile, we're sitting at 27% dampening. As we get closer to the 30 to 50% mark, I think the Feral Druid should overpower the entire team. Resto Druid cannot heal through that damage.
And Jamili's actually playing Burning Determination also, so interrupting him might actually lead to your defeat.
I mean,
There's greater pyro going off. It's about to
Oh my god, what did it say, powers? Okay, Turtastic are going to keep turtling this out. I mean, obviously they can drag the game out with this comp. You're confident that they can get a kill with the Feral Druid's pressure, but I feel like if Peekaboo's locking down the Feral, he's going to have a hard time really getting that momentum for his team, and Wong isn't really going to support it. Finally, Tempo Storm are bringing in some aggression, trying to get pressure on Trill as Peekaboo looks to chase him down, but we've seen how hard it is to stick on a Monk, and Peekaboo isn't playing subtlety, so it'll be even more challenging as Trill portals away. Peekaboo shadow steps to Wong to get back to Trill. Nice play from Peekaboo to reconnect here, trying to get some pressure going for his team, but that prop pally Pure of Heart is just removing all of his poisons. It's so hard for Tempo Storm to get anything going.
If Tempo doesn't know who to attack, they've tried the prop pally, they tried the Feral at the start, they've tried Trill now, and it's not working. They need to go for the Feral Druid. They need to realize that attacking him is really their only best target. Wong's not going to die for a while. He has bubble. He hasn't bubble down for another 2 minutes.
Needs to kick
so
that one.
Yeah, another Greater Pyro coming here. It does get interrupted at the last second. Slicey just waiting till the very last moment. That's what you're supposed to do with those long casts. Just wait till the very last second, make them waste their time, and then kick.
Yeah, that was really well done from Sykesy. I'm glad that he didn't panic. They need 2 pyros. Like, it's okay to get this greater pyro. That is perfectly fine. Get that. You need to stop this greater pyro because this one could set up lethal on Wong. He might have actually gotten off. No, he got paralyzed by Trill. Well done from Trill. I really like his play so far, even though he's playing that prop to be trying to get something done here. As Peekaboo is getting low on health, and as you're saying, dampening is ramping up. The Resto Druid's hots are going to heal less and less, and maybe these Feral Druid bleeds can get something going.
Well, not only that, they have the taunt from Wong also, which is going to cause the target to take 20% more damage. So those bleeds, when they start ramping up, especially into deep dampening, and you taunt on top 20% extra damage.
I feel like at this point in this match, we should be looking at their cameras in the bottom and saying, who's looking more frustrated? Is Peekaboo getting frustrated, or is Wong getting frustrated? Because I feel like that ultimately could throw the game.
I mean, I feel like Wong knows. He just needs to relax by the pillar. Bubble's almost up. As soon as Peekaboo opens, as long as Sexy can get any damage out, it should be absolutely fine. It's going to do a ton to him, and Gorecki's not going to be able to heal it. We saw him running away with Peekaboo a second ago. He's cast like 8 spells in a row. Peekaboo's HP was not going up, so as we get closer to that 50% mark, I expect Sexy to just take Peekaboo down.
I think they should try out some cooler looking mounts. This would be a good time.
I feel like they should be playing the game because dampening is kicking in, and they need to be behind this pillar getting these greater powers off. You can't be waiting out in the open because they're not going to come after you anymore.
Yeah, Jamili is pushed in here. He's looking for some greater pyros onto Wong. It's okay to get one of them, but if he gets 2 of them, that could spell trouble. Trill shuts it down. Still a lot of pressure onto Wong. He doesn't have bubble for a few more seconds. He's not popping off the Vendetta. He's dipping dangerously low here. He needs to do something. No bubble for 7 more seconds. Trill doesn't have life cocoon, and Wong could easily go down. He bobs himself way too late. Stun over onto Trill, and Wong will fall, stalling the match out. Tempo Storm don't get bored and claim victory.
Yeah, and I was worried for them because if they waited any longer, they could have done that minutes ago, right? They just were, and they're laughing about it. They know how silly it was. Jamili knows.
Greater Pyro is based off of the target's maximum health, right?
Yeah.
Hitting a tank is really good.
Hitting a tank is very good. 1.2 million.
Yeah, I would love to pull up the damage on that one because it's hilarious the difference in damage across the board. I mean, even the DPS specs, you can see Zyfoxy doing more than everyone else in the arena. It's pretty expected for Ferals. Wong doing very little, but he's a tank. But do we have the highest damage dealt in this? I don't.
Right here, 1.2 million Greater Pyro.
So
on yours,
yeah, we had a 1.2 million Greater Pyro blast that game.
Is that the highest hit ability in the tournament?
I want to say
it is so far. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't think I've seen any glacial specs above that. So.
Nope.
Even though that ability sounds bad, right? It's
yeah.
a 4-second cast, I believe.
Right. Yep.
Maybe. Yeah.